Good evening and welcome to Ville News. I'm Sarah Dutton alongside Wagner, here to give you the latest local, state, and national headlines.
Coming up, we have updates on a shooting in Maine and legal actions at a presidential campaign. Stay tuned because Ville News starts now.
Survivors and families from Maine's deadliest shooting in history are seeking culpability from the government through 100 individual lawsuits. This month marks 1 year since a mass shooting in Lewistown, Maine that resulted in 18 deaths occurring at a bowling alley and a bar. The 100 lawsuits mark the survivors and the families' intent to sue the Defense Department, the Army, and Keller Army Community Hospital in West Point, New York. The lawsuit claims failure to respond to signs and threats of gunman Robert Card's months before the mass shooting. While the shooting occurred on October 25, 2023, the Army had as early as May 2023 as an option to intervene when the Card's son reported his father's erratic behavior. An internal military report in July 2023 also revealed that when Card's unit failed to follow procedures after a shoving incident, he had reported symptoms of psychosis and homicidal ideations. Card had also formed a hit list at the time. The 4 law firms representing the 100 individual cases include the National Trial Law and Texas firm. This firm is known for representing cases of those related to the 2017 shooting at the church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. This shooting was done by an Air Force service member and ultimately resulted in the federal government being found partly liable. The 4 law firms involved have stated that the U.S. has 6 months to process the claims, and if they either deny or decline the act, claimants will proceed to the federal court.
This past weekend, former President Donald Trump held a rally in support of his 2024 presidential campaign. The rally was held in Coachella, but one man was unable to enter. Los Angeles man Van Miller was caught with 2 weapons. At the time of the stop, authorities thought Miller was planning to assassinate the former president. Miller says that this is not true and that he only brought the weapons for self-protection purposes. As of right now, there is no evidence that Miller planned to cause any harm towards Trump or any attendees of the rally. Van Miller is upset over the claims that he planned to assassinate Trump and is interested in taking legal action against Riverside County and the sheriff that arrested him.
When we get back, updates on a hit and run and a lawsuit against Philadelphia lawyers. Ville News will be right back. On Saturday, October 12th, around 4:33 a.m., investigators said that a driver of a Jeep Cherokee dropped off a victim of a shooting outside of Penn Presbyterian. On Wednesday, October 16th, 20-year-old Jadir Goodwin surrendered to police, according to the officials. Goodwin is accused of being the driver in a hit-and-run outside of Penn Presbyterian Medical Center's emergency department. He is facing charges of aggravated assault and other related offenses. According to the Deputy Commissioner Frank Van Gore, 3 men exited the vehicle and pleaded with hospital staff to help the victim still in the SUV. Van Gore said, quote, those 3 nurses, along with security staff, exited the hospital and ran towards that shooting victim there. They did everything they could to render aid, end quote. Officers were able to recover evidence from the SUV, which led to the arrest warrant of Goodwin.
Lawyers have been told to apologize for blasting a pre-recorded scream in a residential Philadelphia neighborhood at 5:30 a.m. on September 23rd. South Philadelphia residents were awoken by blood-curdling screams. The neighbors rushed out of their homes, only to be met with police and attorneys accompanying a large speaker. The loudspeaker screams were a part of a testing conducted by multiple attorneys and city officials. Residents of the area were upset at the disregard for alerting community members of the time, sounds, and logistics of the test. The pre-recorded audio was 5 different versions of a woman screaming, which echoed through several blocks for 1 hour. The lawyers who took part in the testing must now apologize in person and in writing to the residents where the test took place. as ordered by federal judge John F. Murphy, by the end of October.
When we get back, we'll have updates on new pickleball courts and a shooting at Millersville's fraternity party. Bill News will be right back. People are coming from all over the county to check out the new pickleball courts in Manheim Township. The township received a $250,000 grant for the highly requested project. These 8 courts have slowly been broken in by the public since the beginning of September and now have lights to allow people to play during the nighttime. There will be an official ribbon-cutting ceremony at noon on Saturday, October 26th, and the public is invited to attend. The Manheim Township Recreation Director Matt Stopa says, quote, "We are super excited to finally unveil these courts to the public. Players of all skill levels are welcome, so come down and see what all the excitement is about," end quote.
On October 15, 2024, a 20-year-old man was sentenced for firing a gun at a Millersville University fraternity party. The event occurred on February 24th when Donovan Lee Cruz of Lids broke into a house party on North Prince Street in Millersville. Early morning, a fight broke out after Cruz was confronted by several people. He pulled out a handgun, firing it twice towards the ceiling and towards the crowd as everyone began to flee. It was determined by the police that the weapon used fired blanks. Cruz will spend 18 to 36 months in state prison and 2 years on probation after pleading guilty, and as a result of a guilty plea submitted. Cruz seemingly regrets his actions, saying in court, quote, "I made a mistake and have to do the time," end quote.
That's all we have for this week for Ville News. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in next week for the latest local, state, and national headlines.